I am back on the intermittent fasting, so I wanted to give you an update on my current health and fitness regime. Something that I talk about occasionally on this channel is how I take care of myself and what I focus on in terms of my health. And as you know, I've been working out very hard lately for the past 3 or 4 months, and I've been bulking for the last few months. So eating a lot, eating often, eating lots of protein, eating lots of everything, mostly healthy, like 90% healthy, and bulking up. And I have gained a lot of muscle, but in the process, I have gained a lot of fat as well. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that it was recently my birthday and I did break my number one rule, which is no sugar. And for like a week, I had sugar, not every day, but I had it a few times, okay? Like the real deal, the bad stuff. And it was fine, and I only had things that were like extraordinarily exquisite. I didn't just eat a bunch of cookies and cake, like things that I don't think are rewarding or even delicious. And it did have its toll. I was on my birthday party on the beach and I was like not happy with how I looked. Yeah, I gained a lot of muscle, but how can you see it when I was, I'm not gonna trigger people with weight. I'm just talking about my personal experience. And I had gained maybe 10 or 15 pounds. Above what I would consider my average weight that I could sustain in a healthy way. And so I'm talking about my average weight is like what I feel like looks healthy and what I look like most of the time if I eat healthy, am active, and something that I've sustained most of my life. Everyone's weight fluctuates up and down throughout their lives, but I'm wanting to reset and get back to my normal resting weight. And I'm not talking about rippling cut abs. I've never really had that. I only had that once when I was a raw foodist for a year and did hot yoga every day, which was not necessarily a super healthy lifestyle. It was definitely a detox. But right after my birthday, I realized I wasn't happy with my weight. And not only that, I was feeling sluggish and I was constantly eating so much. And I realized like I've been eating when I'm not hungry. I've just been in this habit. I've trained myself to be in this habit of eating every few hours because I'm bulking, and it kind of became an excuse for overeating, and I was gaining a lot of weight. And so it's time to put that to a stop because I'm in my mid 30s now. So there ain't no time for that, because if you just give up to that dragon, then it's going to consume you. So what I started doing was intermittent fasting, and I want to give a forewarning. I'm not a medical professional. Okay. I'm not even like a certified nutritionist. Don't look at me as an expert on this topic whatsoever. I am just an enthusiast and I'm obsessed with my own health, and I've been studying methods of improving my health for almost my whole life. Okay. That being said, I do feel like I know a lot about intermittent fasting. It's not as though I just don't eat and like, who cares? Like I put hundreds of hours of research into it, reading papers, watching YouTube videos, having conversations with people, with experts. So I feel like I know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna be sharing what I'm doing now, because part of this vlog is it's a diary, it's a vlog, and I'm just sharing my life so you could be here with me experiencing it. And what I've been doing for it's only been a few days, but I've been having an 18-hour fasting window, okay? So another caveat to this is yesterday's video, I think, unless I changed my posting order, was me reviewing the My Halos sleep mask, because I've been dramatically trying to improve my sleep, because that plays a huge impact on your overall health and your brain health. And I was really inspired by listening to a few podcasts by Brian Johnson, who is pioneering the whole blueprint system. And he stops eating like around noon or 1 because for him, it's not, I think when he talked about it, I'm sure he believes there is longevity factors that come into play when you are fasting. And a lot of other people like Thomas DeLore do talk about how intermittent fasting increases longevity. However, he didn't talk about this from that perspective. He talks about it from it improving your sleep. So when you stop eating at noon or 1 p.m., that gives you your body enough time to digest the food so that you're not in food digesting mode when you go to sleep and you have a proper deep sleep. And a lot of people talk about this, but they mostly talk about like, oh, I don't eat 4 hours before bed. I don't eat 5 hours before bed, 3 hours before bed, because you don't want to be digesting as you sleep. It affects your sleep. But Brian Johnson is like, I've noticed from like keeping such close track of all my biomarkers and having a whole team of scientists like constantly watching me, that if I sleep, like he finishes eating 10 hours before he sleeps, or else it interrupts his sleep, even a little bit. So I took that to heart and I'm like, okay, usually when I do intermittent fasting, I skip breakfast, work out in the morning, fasted, and then I have lunch and dinner. That's usually what I used to do. But I decided to try skipping dinner, which seems harder at first, because I wanted to have better sleep at night. And I want to have the fast experience. And the results I've been having so far have been really profound. And I've been getting rapid results even faster than I did when I skipped breakfast before. Okay. So usually, and this is better, I think, because I am trying to bulk still and get a lot of protein in, and my eating window is big enough that I am able to eat 2 really huge meals and get a lot of protein in there. And the best part is I can eat close to the time that I work out. And Thomas DeLore is a big fan of working out fasted, and there's a lot of science to back that up. On the other hand, there's a lot of people who are fans of working out unfasted, and that eating protein before, during, after your workout is really good because it gives your muscles a source of fuel and protein to rebuild the muscle instantly as it's being damaged. So as someone who wants to make big gains, this is really great. So I'm trying this on for size, and I like that I could have my protein shake before and after my workout and still fast. So I wake up in the morning, and 5 days a week I work out, and we usually work out at 6:30 in the morning. We wake up at 5:30, meditate, splash cold water on your face, do all that stuff to get ready, prep the meals for the morning and for lunch, and then 6:30 have a protein shake, maybe some form of small carb, like a date or some fresh fruit, just to give some carbs to the workout. And then we get going. So the fast initially breaks at 6:30, 7-ish in the morning. And then my eating window ends at noon. So then I have breakfast after that and lunch, and it all finishes before noon. And I usually get to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And that is roughly an 18-hour fasting window. And I've been doing that every day for the last few days. And I have to say, it's hard to say when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, look at this weight I've gained. It's hard to say if it is fat or inflammation. I do feel like I have lost some fat in the last few days, but a huge factor is my inflammation has gone down dramatically. Okay. My inflammation has gone down dramatically. I was having a huge problem with inflammation, and especially after every meal, I would be extremely bloated. And now my bloating after eating each meal has gone down significantly, but then just my overall slimness it's like I'm half the thickness I was. And that's why I want to bring inflammation into the conversation, because a lot of people look in the mirror and what you're not realizing is probably most of what you're seeing is not fat or excess fat on your body. It's inflammation. Okay. And inflammation is not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your brain or your body or anything. So the fact that intermittent fasting is reversing my inflammation is really great. What are my plans for intermittent fasting? Should you intermittent fast every day for the rest of your life? You know what? I don't think so. I don't think that's healthy, and I do not advise it. But doing it for a month or two, a few months, I think is really great to kind of kickstart your metabolism as a form of cleansing. And then it's really good to take a break from fasting. I think overall, as part of a lifestyle, fasting is great, but you can't do it every day for the rest of your life. It could become addictive and could become an eating disorder. So if you plan on fasting, just plan to, it'll be hard at first. It's not hard for me because I have so much experience and I'm pretty willful, but it will be hard at first, but then eventually it'll get easy. And at the point it gets easy, you have to stop. You have to stop, and you gotta stop fasting and eat like a normal person for a while, until you can build up the challenge.